Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's Wednesday, June 21st, 2017, the summer solstice in the northern hemisphere. Because it's a Wednesday, I'm going to be on Truth Frequency Radio just like every Wednesday night. If you've never listened before, the show is live from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. on the West Coast, 9 p.m. to midnight on the East Coast. In the description, I'll provide the link to listen live. Also, the link to listen after. The show is free to listen to up to 10 days after in case you miss it. All that will be provided below, including the number to call in if you want to speak with me this evening. For this evening's program, we're going to have Trutheresy 3 as a guest. His book launches today. I want to help him promote his book. So Trutheresy 3, going to be a great guest. We're also going to be talking about everything going on in the news this past week. From the Grenfell Tower to Bill Cosby to what's going on with Donald the Oompa Loompa Trump to even this death here of Prodigy, which a lot of people are asking about. So before the show, I want to give you this knowledge about Prodigy, how his death ties in with Tupac Shakur, who also died in Las Vegas, who just this past Friday, June 16th, what would have been his 46th birthday, had the film come out about his life, All Eyes on Me. And of course, Tupac and Prodigy had rap beef in the past, which we'll connect to. But just in case you're new here, we talk about Gematria, the practice of coding numbers behind words, which is part of Kabbalah, the Jewish mysticism that God created the world with language when God merged the letter with the number. And this language, it's very biblical, has a lot to do with the Bible. The source code comes from the Torah, the first 5 books of the Bible. For anyone who knows their biblical history, the first printed Bibles were called 42-line Bibles, and in the language of Gematria, 5, the word, when written out, sums to 42. The first 5 books of the Bible, the Torah, extremely significant to this study. Of course, the New Testament, the Christian part of the Bible, begins with the 42 generations to Jesus, and in the language of Gematria, New Testament also sums to 42. Here, Prodigy has dropped dead at this age of 42, a number we talk about a lot on this channel, especially in regards to black history. Talk about often how this number is used fatefully throughout history. And here's another example, Prodigy dead at 42. Black History Month, February, is the only month with a 42 gematria. February 42, slavery 42, hateful word for black people, nigger 42, the slang term brothers 42, the word boy 42, the word bus 42. Think about black history on the bus. The name Jackie equals 42, who wore 42, who is said to be the first black baseball player called up to white major league, but it isn't true. In the 1800s, 1884, Moses Walker, reportedly the first black baseball player called up to white major league. The name Moses Walker equals 42, and he played in exactly 42 games. The name Martin equals 42. If you ever seen the sitcom Martin, black sitcom, he lives in apartment 42. Malcolm X 42. If you write out 42 as a word, it sums to 43. Talked about this before in history. RIP equals 43. Las Vegas, Nevada equals 43, where he died. I bring this up because his date of death, June 20th, 2017, a date with 43 numerology. So dead at 42 on a date with 43 numerology. Las Vegas is also known as Sin City, and the word sin also has gematria 42. If you've ever heard of the 42 laws of Ma'at, which go back to Egypt, they have to do with sin. Sin 42, 42 laws of Ma'at. Jesus died for the sins, the Christian belief, the word Savior 42, again, New Testament 42, beginning with the 42 generations to Jesus. So here on the screen we have relevant gematria for Las Vegas, Nevada. Notice the 49 for Las Vegas alone. Both the rap names Prodigy and Havoc sum to 49. And down below with the links to the show, I'm also going to link this Gematrinator calculator. You can verify this yourself. Havoc, simple English gematria 49. Prodigy has reduction gematria 49. Also 94, its reflection. The year Tupac was supposedly shot in New York, which we'll get to. Prodigy from New York, like Tupac, both men dead in Las Vegas. So here was the reporting yesterday from TMZ. Prodigy, one half of Mobb Deep, has died in Las Vegas. His publicist says he was hospitalized a few days ago in Vegas after a Mobb Deep performance for complications caused by a sickle cell anemia crisis. As most of his fans know, Prodigy battled the disease since birth. And of course, Tupac and Hit 'Em Up has lyrics about his sickle cell health problem. The publicist added the exact cause of death has not been determined. Prodigy was in Vegas over the weekend performing with the Art of Rap tour with Ghostface Killah, Onyx, KRS-One, and Ice-T, to name a few. Mobb Deep performed Saturday night. Prodigy and his partner, Havoc, formed Mobb Deep in NYC in the early 90s. By the way, in light of this man dying at 42, should bring up that NYC equals 42. Very special number. NYC, very special city. So they formed it in the early 90s. Their biggest hits include Quiet Storm and Shook Ones. Well, that's what TMZ says. They got a lot of classic songs for hip-hop fans. So check this out. Sickle cell anemia crisis, what they say brought him down, has gematria of 94. We just talked about how 94 connects to the name Prodigy. One more time, Prodigy 94. I want you to notice that Mobb Deep is also 35, and the reason why is because the number 149 is the 35th prime number. Notice sickle cell anemia crisis also has this gematria of 149, which is the 35th prime. Notice further 211's up here. 211's the 47th prime, and he went down into Nevada. He's also the ancestor of the man who founded Morehouse College. We'll talk about how Morehouse equals 47 and 74 in just a moment. But one more thing about that sickle cell anemia crisis. 383, the word murder has gematria of 38 and 83. 383. Remember that song from 1983, Murder by Numbers by the band The Police? This is exactly what this is for Prodigy. This is Murder by Numbers. And in that song, it's about how you have to kill to maintain your status. I suspect that someone who else was involved in this concert is connected to his death. Notice sickle cell anemia also sums to 62, like Mobb Deep. 62, very special number. We've talked about how many rap names have 62 coded into it. Jay-Z, who has an album releasing later this month, 62. P. Diddy, 62, the two biggest beneficiaries of the death of Notorious B.I.G. Eazy-E, who was murdered by the number 62. Many more. The words Mason, Torah, Garden of Eden, Freemason, Mason, Torah, and Garden of Eden, all 62. So is the word dollar. Freemason and 5 have that gematria of 42, so 62, 42, special numbers. The tour he was on, the Art of Rap tour, gematria of 74. When you write out 42, it has gematria of 74. Remember Masonic 74, Killing 74, Rapper 74, Shakur 74, Machiavelli 74, Cross 74, Jesus equals 74, Messiah 74, Gospel 74. In the Bible, 74 mentions of the stake and crucifix. Again, 42 generations to Jesus. All of these numbers are biblical. Now here's a picture of Prodigy, whose birth name was Albert Johnson. I want you to notice that over his throat he has 333 tattooed, which is a very special number to Freemasonry. Again, the Freemasons have the 47th problem of Euclid about how to establish foundation. This man died 135 days before his birthday, which we'll get to. His upcoming 43rd birthday. Also died in a location with 47 Gematria. 333 is this number that corresponds with Masonry. Freemasonry, very much based in mathematics, numerical understanding. These numbers are symbolic. And next to the 333 is 666, a biblical number from Revelation, from 1 Kings 10:14, about Solomon's 666 talents of gold. Anyhow, notice the name Albert Johnson, his birth name, in English Extended Gematria, which is a relevant cipher that I do not talk about so much, but it's right here at the calculator. If you come down to the ciphers and add English Extended, you'll see Albert Johnson, 666. This cipher is closely related to Jewish Gematria. Anyhow, his tattoos, the 333 over the neck, the 666, this goes into what I talked about in this recent video. If you missed this video, I showed how David West's, the basketball player, how the tattoo that he got on his arm this past season showed that the NBA Finals would end 4-1. David West has a tattoo of the golden ratio on his arm. The golden ratio was 1.61. The Warriors went 16-1 in the NBA Finals plus a whole lot more. So check out this video. It's linked in this blog post. A lot of information there. A few more things about the numbers. Notice Albert Johnson, Gematria of 72, like the word hip-hop. But also notice here the 153. Again, all of these numbers come back to the Bible, Holy Bible, 153. And you might recall that the first printed Bibles, Gutenberg Bibles, which were also the 42-line Bibles, notice Gutenberg is 666, like Albert Johnson. Here's the Gematria of Prodigy and Havoc, again both connecting to 49, 49, 94, reflections of each other. As I've explained many times, these rappers do not name themselves. If you're in this industry, you get named by your Jewish owners. It's no secret that Zionist Jews control entertainment, media. This includes the world of hip-hop. And this code, Gematria, is a Jewish code. From his birthday, which is November 2nd, 2016, the day he turned 42. Where did I put his birthday up here? Right here. He was born in 74, just talked about that. From his 33rd birthday, or excuse me, from his 42nd birthday, to his date of death, exactly 33 weeks. Exactly 33 weeks. 33. Number of sacrifice. Jesus on the cross at 33. And notice, Bible 33. Good book. 33. You take your good book to church on Sunday, 33. Jesus performed 33 miracles. God's Son, 33. So 33 weeks from the 42nd birthday, 42 generations to Jesus, we see the death of Prodigy. To his upcoming, again, 43rd birthday was 135 days later. 135 and 63, the date he died, also had 63 numerology. These are numbers that connect to Rabbinic Judaism. His date of death, Date with 36 numerology. Sin City, where he died, has the Gematria of 36. If you count 1 through 36, if you add the first 36 numbers together, it totals 666, like what's tattooed on his throat. There's also a date with 45 numerology connecting to Holy Bible. Holy Bible has Gematria of 45 forwards and back, and the King James version of the Bible was made when he was 45 years old, 1611. Special number. The most common Bible that people have today is the NIV, which also has the Gematria of 45. So now here's the Tupac piece. Tupac would have turned 46 years old this past Friday, the date that All Eyes on Me came out. Remember, the Freemasons are really into 47. All Eyes on Me has this Gematria of 47. Tupac died on September 13th, a date that's written 13/9 in most parts, 139, just like Freemasonry, 139. So anyhow, Tupac, in his song Hit 'Em Up, talked about this song at great length in regards to the death of Notorious B.I.G. Hit 'Em Up equals 97, like Notorious, like death, like the year of his death. In this song, he mentions Mobb Deep, and he says, don't one of you have sickle cell or something? So now here we read about Prodigy dying years later. They're blaming it on his sickle cell. Also interesting. Earlier this year, Prodigy went on the show, Alex Jones' show, InfoWars. And he had done this in 2011. He went again this year on February 3rd. He went there on a date with 42 numerology. I want to show you what's so interesting about his meeting on InfoWars. From the date of that show to his death was 137 days. Excuse me. Which is the 33rd prime number. 137, the 33rd prime. Again, he died 33 weeks from his birthday. Alex Jones has Gematria of 33. And if you use the S exception, Alex Jones is also 42. Notice the name Alex is 42. Alex Jones is born February 11th, 1974, which is the 42nd day of the year. He's also on the Genesis radio network, which has the Gematria of 33 as well, where the Kabbalah code begins. First book of the Torah, first book of the Bible. And do you know what Genesis even means? It means in the beginning. In the beginning is what Genesis means. In the beginning, 137, the 33rd prime. And Genesis also means starting place. So like birth 33, seed 33. Anyhow, Prodigy went on this program for the second time in his life, February 3rd, 2017. He died 137 days later. He has this song called Illuminati. In the lyrics, he says it took him 33 years to see the truth. So anyhow, quite interesting that he went on InfoWars exactly 137 days before his death at 42. The last album he released was the Hegelian Dialectic, which came out on Inauguration Day, January 20th, 2017, a date with 58 numerology, Freemasonry 58, Secret Society 58, also a date with 38 numerology, Rapper 38, Death 38, Killing 38, Murder 38, Tupac and Notorious B.I.G. dead on dates with 38 numerology. If you haven't studied what this topic is about, it's about how essentially, the people of this world are in a contained system, and the only way to break out of it is to align enough people on one side to throw the system, the order we're under, out of place. And if you read about it, it it makes a lot of sense. And in truth, that's pretty much what I'm trying to do with this research, is wake enough people up to what's really going on in this world that we live so that we can put an end to the madness, including these ritual murders by the numbers. He's an ancestor prodigy of the man who established Morehouse College, a black college, Morehouse College, Sums 274, Morehouse 47. Remember, very special numbers. Masonic 74, Authority 47, Christian 47. Morehouse also has the Gematria of 119, like All-Seeing Eyes, Star of David, Master Plan. So I'll link this below if you want to read more about it. But real quick, I want to go back to the 1994 shooting of Tupac Shakur, supposedly, at Puff Daddy's recording studios. 94. Remember, Prodigy equals 94. Notice in this article here, they emphasize the name henchman. Anytime you see an emphasis like that on a word in a mainstream headline, they're communicating gematria to you. Henchman has that gematria of 33. So reportedly, Tupac was shot on this infamous date, November 30th, 1994. Check this out. This happened in New York City. From Tupac's birthday to the shooting was 168 days. Tupac was 23 at the time. The word symbol equals 23. With regards to this shooting coming on his 168th day of being 23 in New York City, notice that New York City in Gematria sums to 168, like a Fenny Shakur Davis, his mother. Again, Tupac's from New York. And real quick about his mother, I want you to know this. Get rid of one of these ciphers here. She was a Black Panther. Black Panther has this gematria of 213. Tupac released his final studio album February 13th, 96, 2/13, and then died 213 days later. He released his last studio album in Black History Month, 213. His birth numerology also sums to 93, very special number in Black history. He would die 93 weeks and 3 days after this shooting, supposedly in New York. In the language of satanic gematria, death also sums to 213. But just understand, these are special numbers here. Tupac died by the numbers having to do with Masonry, Black history, connected to his mother, who was a Black Panther, as so many of these rappers do have family that were in the Black Panther Party, which was Masonic-controlled opposition. Black Panther Party, 74, just like Masonic. And, if you've ever seen those people in the white sheets, the white supremacists, the KKK, it's the same thing. White supremacists, 74. KKK 33. The powers that shouldn't be, they know how to control the full show. They know how to pit people against each other. They know how to breed racism. And they do it amongst all races. So many people get upset when when I say that the Black Panther Party was Masonic controlled opposition, but it's very obvious it was, Very obvious. Named accordingly. So anyhow, this shooting in 94 happened at Quad Studios. And I want you to notice, Quad Studios equals 42, like Freemason. Also 147. And if you write out 94 as a word, it also sums to 147, the year of the shooting, like the word conspiracy. Very special numbers here, 42 and 147. If you've never seen my work on The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, check it out. Whole lot of 42 and 147. Very Masonic numbers. And just think about Prodigy now dying. Prodigy with the 94 name Gematria, who had the rap beef with Tupac. NYC shooting. So here it is, from the date of this shooting to the date of Tupac's death, 93 weeks and 3 days. Talked about how 93 connects to Tupac's birth numerology. Black History Month also connects to many other things, including crucifixion. Crucifix has the gematria of 93, also like God's Son. Nazareth, where Jesus was supposedly from, 93. I want you to think about how Tupac's last album is him on the cross. Machiavelli. Again, Machiavelli, he spells it this way. A play on the real Machiavelli. Last year, 2016, his mother announced dead on the real Machiavelli's birthday, May 3rd. She died May 2nd, the day before. But Machiavelli, 74, like cross, like Jesus, like Messiah, like gospel, like parables. And if you write out 42, it sums to 74. This is what murder by numbers is. This is what operating by a code is. They say that Jesus was crucified between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m. in the Gospel of Mark. And in 2012, science said that they figured out that Jesus was crucified on April 3rd of our calendar, which is the 93rd day of the year, in the year 33. Consider also that they tell us the sun is 93 million miles away. And if a light bulb is going off in your head, check out the gematria of light bulb. Also 93, and not arbitrarily. Our entire language is based on this system. The sun, the source of light, 93 million miles away. Light bulb, 93. Speaking of 147, there were these recent headlines. Funkmaster Flex brought to tears on Instagram in response to T.I. T.I. checks Funkmaster Flex. I was taught never to speak down on a dead man. This was about the death of Tupac Shakur. I was taught never to speak down on a dead man equals 147, just like dead man. And Tupac's first shooting had a lot to do with 147. Funkmaster Flex also 58, like Freemasonry, like the day Prodigy released his album. This feud also happened May 3rd, which was the 1-year anniversary of the announcement of the death of Tupac's mother. Also a date, of course, that is Machiavelli's birthday. News by the numbers, propaganda by the numbers. All of these men are owned puppets. This is why you don't want to be a celebrity truth seeker. This is why you don't want to make it in this world to work for the Zionist Jews, because this could be your fate. You know, premature death, murder, and then they'll report whatever they want to report about how you died. You know, they'll say you hung yourself, you killed yourself, you shot yourself, you choked on something. Just imagine what it would be to be murdered and then have your death blamed on a suicide. As far as I know, they haven't done that for Prodigy, but they've done it for many more. Murder by numbers is an old game, happens often, and when you know the code, you can see right through it. All right, Truth Seeker, until next time.